Good morning, everyone. My name is Niels Rusche, and right now I am standing at the main entrance of the Lommel Sahara, which is located in Belgium. Me and my dog Jules, right there, he's already running off, hopefully not too far, are going to take you guys on a little journey throughout this beautiful natural area, and we're gonna try to analyze it and give you guys an insight on why it looks like it does at this moment in time. Good, let's go. Okay, so I've walked for about 5 minutes now, and I'm about to enter the forest and the natural landscape of the Sahara. As you can see, there's already a small sitting area, and the stamp of mankind is already very visible. On the tables and on the background, you can see some signs giving the people more information about the landscape, the wildlife, and the possibilities of this landscape. After about 10 minutes into our journey, we can notice that the terrain is becoming quite sandy. This white sand is one of the main features of this landscape. Now, walking over this final lump, we will enter the main attraction of this environment. This is why most people visit the Sahara, to see this place. Now, as you can see, we have reached the main destination of our walk, the lake. It's only a 15-minute walk over quite wide and well-prepared paths to get here. Although the terrain is quite difficult, good and easy accessibility are necessary for people here in order for them to enjoy the nature. Now, the main features of this entire landscape are the big lake in the middle and the white paradise-esque sand surrounding the lake. Now, this type of sand is actually quite rare to find in this part of the country, which is why most people visit this place. It gives you beach vibes, and it comes together with recreational possibilities such as beach volleyball and football. Now, this entire open space is surrounded by a forest of pine trees. Why pine trees, you might ask? I'll tell you this in just a second. Okay, so right now I've moved a little bit closer to the lake as I wanted to give you guys a better view on it. And I also wanted to show you guys the texture of this sand. As you can see, it's really proper beach sand, as you can find near the ocean. So, now, this entire area around me actually was just a plain of sand back in the day. I'm talking 200 years ago right now. So there were no trees, no greenery at all, no animals probably either, and definitely also no water. It was just sand. I can maybe insert a picture right now. Of course, this sand was very valuable and useful back in the day. So, with the Industrial Revolution, the sand industry settled in Lommel in the early 1900s. For about 50 to 60 years, a lot of sand was dug up here. But then the water, groundwater to be more precise, started flooding these sand quarries. And thus, the industry had to abandon this place, leaving the lakes as we see them today. Now, with the booming industry, the city of Lommel started growing too, building more and more houses closer to the Sahara. However, this did cause some problems. Year by year, the sandy plains of the Sahara were expanding because the wind would carry the sand further and further, creating an ever-growing surface of sand. On windy days, the sand would even blow into the city, causing havoc and flooding cellars of many houses. To make an end to this chaos and overall expansion of the plains, trees were planted. Pine trees, to be exact, for they are one of the few tree species that can grow on sand and survive in the worst of conditions. This was how the forest surrounding the lake was created, and with that, we have the fundamentals of this landscape. Now, over the years after the industry left, the soil surrounding the lake started improving. getting richer and thus creating more biodiversity. Reeds started growing around the lake together with different tree sorts such as birch, different plants, different grasses, and even mushrooms. Okay, so I've walked around the lake where I can offer you guys a better look at the main wildlife of this landscape. Water birds. Many swans, geese, and ducks populate this area, for they have everything they need. Lots of space and food, and the reed provides perfect breeding spots for the birds when needed. So, as you can see, we're now in the middle of the pine tree forest. The big lake and the other lakes are in that direction right there. But as you can see, nothing but pine trees, both sides of the lake, to stop the expansion of the sandy plains. And it has actually created quite a beautiful forest. Yeah. Okay, so I've made it to our final destination of today, this little hillside located in a small open area in the forest. Now this little hill used to be the local dump, which means the ground over here is just stuffed with all kinds of trash and toxic waste. Now this dump was also created to stop the expansion of the sandy plains. Now even though lots of plastic to this day still resurfaces, it's kind of beautiful to see how nature has won back this place, allowing greenery to grow again. Of course, no information about this dump can be found in this area as there are no signs about it. And this is actually quite logical because it doesn't stroke with the message that the city is trying to push forward right now. For they want people to think that the Sahara is a place of pure nature without any dirty or artificial fundaments. Alas, that is not the case, as you guys hopefully have learned. There is only very little about this place that can be considered pure and true nature. As I'm standing on the recently built panoramic tower that watches over the Sahara, I just want to share some final thoughts with you. This landscape and its fundaments are artificial, even though the city is trying its best to hide that side of history and promote the message of pure nature. I understand that though, for this way they can gain more things such as publicity, tourists, and thus money. Which is why they have been creating lots of playing and seating areas, building the panoramic tower and improving the accessibility of this area. In their eyes, recreation is the most important aspect because the Belgian citizen connects with nature through recreation. The Sahara is a child-friendly nature adventure for all, they say. And so the artificiality keeps growing in this landscape, and it will continue to do so. But in my opinion, nature is fighting back. For over the years, the artificial fundaments and lines are starting to fade, both visually and mentally. Nature is filling up the cracks, and so this landscape may end up being the true nature that the city so dearly desires. Hope you have enjoyed, and thanks for watching.